it always likes to tell me to rotate device. Rotate device, come on. Okay, cool. What? Oh, I accidentally hit the Bixby button. I hope that didn't stop the stream. Cool, okay. So this is day 6 of Manga May. The prompt is fantasy. I was actually doing something like whilst I was before this was happening. So I made the announcement and then I started doing something. So I'm actually not as set up for this as I was expecting because I kind of got hooked in that. So yeah. So the prompt is fantasy. I already have an idea of what I want to do for this because I want to do a couple of pages. And so Genshin has a character called Scaramouche who's us pretty much an entire Bohemian Rhapsody reference lyrics. And there's like part where it's like just fantasy, and I want to kind of do something inspired by that bit using this character. Oh, it's the start of the song? Okay. As you can tell, I'm not cultured. Okay, so we're gonna use the manga journal for this, to plan it out. So this book is just for manga making stuff. So I've got notes that I've taken, say, from like tutorials I've watched on YouTube. Actually, I'll give a bit of a tour of this first. So this was like the goals of like, what do I want to do for this? Start with, I mean, like I've done a couple of pages of goals because, you know, like when you don't read them, you reassess. And the first thing I did for like research was, Monitor Comics has a video on paneling. I'm like, that's the very basics of manga making, so that felt like a good place to start. And then I had a journal attempt where I just like, this was just me writing down what I did. And then just updating, writing down sort of, I haven't been journaling as much where I just actually write down, say, what stuff I'm doing to work on my manga and things. And then I had a plan for the month of February. This did not happen at all. And then I had stuff, then another more research about like how to make storyboards. So there's a lot of this. That's my mum coming home, and this is me trying to figure out the name of my story. So yeah, I like to have fancy titles because it just means that I actually can easily tell what that page is about. These were like, I was working on like the synopsis. These are not pictures because they're intended for the audience to read, not the publisher and stuff. So yeah, I did that on my computer and then just stapled it in. These are kind of with ideas for how to name chapters. Yeah, lots of different stuff already in here. I do plan to at some point make a video about how to do manga journaling, but because it's not something I've seen a lot, but I find it's really helpful to have just, I mean, some people might do it on documents, but I like to have an actual journal thing. It's not a sketchbook, like that, this is the sketchbook. I don't really draw in here. I'm not sure if anyone else has a system like this. I've never heard anyone talk about it, but yeah. Okay, so I might use, because my outline pens are dying that I actually use, I might just use a normal pen for writing. Pardon? I'm live. So I like to write the date on all my pages just because I used to not do it when I was younger, like not even for like stuff at school, which I was really supposed to. But it helps me get an idea of, say, how much I got it done, like when I've had big gaps and stuff, and it just helps give a timeline. I also put the date on my pages in my sketchbook. I have seen a lot of sketchbook tours where they don't do stuff like that, so it's not essential, but I definitely find it helps. The only time I might not is, say, if I've got like a full page spread where there's just no space. Like for this one, I couldn't put the date on that page, but I know what day I did it and stuff. Or like this page, there's no space because the whole page is an artwork, whereas like for the next page, there's plenty of blank space that isn't anything. So yeah. Hello to the person that's joined. Wait, I should get my it up on my computer. Oh right, we need the music. Because we worked out how to do that last time. I'm still trying to work on this stuff. So yeah, we'll get the music up so it's less bland, I guess. Oh, and right, no headphones. Otherwise you guys won't be able to hear it and it'll just be me listening to stock music. Got it, we got the chat. Um so yeah. So it was SoundCloud. I'm like listening to royalty-free music. Because we don't want to get copyrighted by we don't want to get in trouble for our copy striked, which is why we need the that's still being slow and a pain, so that can just no. I don't remember. Does it keep remember where I got up to last time? Because I don't necessarily want to start from the start again. Vitamin, that sounds funky. Okay. So I want to try and be a bit more efficient because this is a bigger task. Because I want to do a couple of pages. Bohemian Rhapsody has quite a few lyrics. I'm not sure if... Okay, so I'm going to only look at the first, they're not called paragraphs, dang it, what are the verse? First paragraph, oh my gosh. Sorry, I don't do a lot of poetry, I'm more of a prose writer. Prose just being anything that you write that isn't poetry. So that's like novels, essays, yeah. Prose is just defined as not poetry. And what makes something poetry is just you say it's poetry. I guess writing out by hand means that I have to think about each word. I don't like this song, but that's fine. It's so we have something. Landside? Is that meant to be landslide or landside? What is a landside? Okay, that is a thing. Wait. Bohemian Rhapsody is definitely going to be copyrighted, but is it landside or landslide? Because I mean, landslide I've just learned is a word, but okay, I'm hoping that some of you guys are cultured. Do they actually say landside in the song? Because I don't want to listen to it because then YouTube will get up me because it's definitely 100% copyrighted. But I still want to double check. Look up. Actually, since there aren't many people here, I'm just going to quickly put my headphones on and just listen to see if it's actually landside is what they sing, because... And also, I guess listening to it will help me get a sense of the tone of the piece. Oh, it's muted. Yeah, that definitely sounds like landslide. So I think that's a typo because there was definitely a like there was definitely an L sound in there. I don't know if they just poorly articulated it, but I think that it's was just a typo in the Google lyrics. This is probably not the most efficient way to do it, but that's fine. I don't want to print right now. And it just feels more personal if I handwrite it for this. Okay, so I'm also gonna try and find because I know that there are videos because everyone knows that Scaramouche is just Bohemian Rhapsody, the Edge Lord character. So I'm gonna see because I do know that people have made things where they like have scenes of him with the music playing. So I'm gonna use that as inspiration because it's kind of what I'm doing. Because he also just directly quotes it at times. Okay, I don't know why they've written it in the lyrics. Me. Why isn't the me on this line? Okay, I'm doing it this way because that just is stupid what they've done. Okay. It knows me. The instant thing it came up with was Bohemian Rhapsody Scaramouche. It knows me too well. And I have also listened to this before. Um so okay, so they start with him going on about the stars being a lie. Oh yeah, also this will contain spoilers for Scaramouche in Genshin. So that's um I mean the event that we just had, well, still going technically, isn't too much of, I don't think that'll come up much. I think it's 3.3's story. So yeah, I guess if you haven't played through the story where with this, if you've played it, you know exactly which one it is. Like you'll know. Um, I might just speed it up so I can see the Okay, so this is okay. That didn't really cover much. Okay, let's just. Okay, so because we want multiple pages, I'm gonna figure out. So I kind of want it to be where we see, I guess, like his fantasies, and then like at the end it's revealed that because Nahida's okay, so I'm going to assume that you know what I'm talking about in Genshin stuff because I'm not going to try and have to explain everything, but essentially Nahida can read minds. But Scaramouche is one of the characters that specifically, like, when you go use good, okay, it's actually afternoon here, so good time of day it is for you, Lewis. We're working through day 6. I mean, you were here yesterday. So Nahida can read minds, and Scaramouche is one of the few characters where you don't really get much when you. I mean, I don't have Nahida because I lost the 50-50 to Daya, but I've seen clips and stuff. So if you do use Nahida to try and read Scaramouche's mind as you would for every other character, you don't get anything. He just is like, huh, you think you can read my mind? So I want it to be sort of where this is maybe when he hasn't quite learned yet how to, like, in between sort of. Oh, almost midnight. I'm so sorry that you don't have to stay if you get tired. This stream may go for a while because I'm playing through multiple pages. But essentially, yeah, I want this to be like, I guess, Scaramouche's like little thing that I guess fantasy, like what Nahida sees in his head when she can actually manage, maybe like they don't know each other as well, so perhaps she can actually get through and read, and then he's like angry at the end, like, how dare you? Oh, what's now I don't remember what Nahida's demon, because I feel like she's Bua. I think Nahida names, because Scaramouche refers to Genshin, because is Bua, okay. Because, yeah, they have... Oh, okay, that makes sense, yeah. Yeah, just make sure that you do get, sleep, because sleep is important. Part of the reason why I slept in today was because, I didn't go to sleep at the right time, because my instant response of something early in the morning, instead of trying to go to sleep early like a normal person, my brain goes, what if we just, like, stay up till that thing happens? It's not a good idea. I really need to get out of the habit. Okay. I'm thinking 3 pages is what I kind of want to tell this in. Maybe 4. Maybe 3 pages of... actually, no, I think maybe limit. I don't... Like, because what? It takes about 2 hours for, start... They are not at all the same... Whoops. Okay, so... What is the ratio of a piece... it doesn't matter. I like this first one's size, but I definitely didn't, So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's better. Because, yeah, they're all going to be the same size. And I also definitely want to go back to manga, because I didn't get to see the live stream that Monitor did live. I watched it afterwards. But there's so many good entries. And I'm also kind of sad that, my favorite entry is not manga. Like, I want to be a manga artist, and the best one I've done was a duck instead. So I want to rectify that. Okay, so I think, like, we're gonna have, like, Nahida. Yeah, okay, these are way too small to storyboard with. Okay, but we've got the... Actually, you know what? We're gonna script first, because we're gonna do this properly. So I usually... I missed it because I, was just too tired to do it. But yeah, it was definitely a good stream. It's only an hour long. And it's, oh, okay. So this was what I was working on before. This is for a new video. So we're gonna go script and just save. I don't save very, frequently. That's a problem I have. There's no zoom in feature. Okay, so I might make my screen bigger, because I still want this stand to be a relative distance away. So zoom in. I hope that's easy to read. Okay, so we want, I know how I want it to end, but I don't know how I want it to start. And I want it to be sort of... Okay, so we might start with the end. Hello, Alvin. Is it Alvin Kaiser? Is that how I say your name? This is a recurring theme where I don't know how to say anyone's usernames. I'm also going to refer to them as Scaramouche, even though technically they're not Scaramouche at this stage. Okay, so that's how we want it to end. Kaiser? That's an I. That's Kaiser. Is that what? Okay, and then we want, I know that usually I wouldn't start at the end, because usually I don't have the idea of how I want to end and then not have a beginning. Usually I'm definitely a start to finish writer, and just see what happens. Akira. Oh no, but he can't come up from behind because of where directly at Mahida as he is reading his mind. Because yeah, the way her power works is wait. For those that haven't played it, so essentially she like goes shing like to people in front of her, so he can't come up from behind. So I'm thinking maybe he's not looking directly at her whilst this, and then like it's like this scary moment where he like looks directly at her. Okay, so now we need to. Okay, so this is gonna be like the page 3. So that's gonna be the ending. So now I need to figure out what his fantasy is, I guess, or like what she sees in his mind. So a big thing that he just wants was, I guess, to disappear. So I'm picturing that this is just just after the end of the 3.3 Archon quest. So he's kind of just teamed up with her, just gotten his memories back, sort of thing. So in between when we last saw him in the Archon quest and when we see him again in the event that just happened. So he hasn't quite adapted to not having his mind read. And stuff. Okay, so now I need to rewatch this. Okay, actually, I might turn the music back on. I'm so bad at turning it off and then wait, I've got headphones on. That's why my music's off. Whoops. I can't play music. I can't have headphones on so I can listen to something and then playing music for the stream. Okay, no music because I need to revisit a certain scene and I can't play it because I'm assuming gameplay videos would be copyrighted. He like erases himself. So yeah, this is definitely a spoiler thing. 25 minutes. I don't. Right, because this one's only a few minutes. Okay, I've got sound, so that's good. I forgot what's. I probably should rewatch the whole thing because it'll influence, but that's fine. I don't particularly want to have to go through everything of Scaramouche stuff, but okay. So this starts from when he's just shared a secret with us, and then he wants a question answered. Oh, I think. Oh, I know exactly what this. Why do you need the hand? What's with Scaramouche and asking for our hand all the time? Okay. So he kind of wants to erase himself. So yeah, my immediate thought was things like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff. Like I wanted to do something different because I feel like everyone's going to go for like your typical medieval fantasy. Because that's where I go to, and like I'm a fantasy reader. My bookshelf is currently like half my books aren't on this shelf, but like actually that's really not a good example of my reading collection. But yeah, I instantly went to that, but I feel like everyone's going to, so to stand out, I wanted to go for something different. And like I did also just think of Genshin in general because it's a fantasy game. Why are you not sitting right, stand? My stand has decided not to sit the way I had it before. But then I thinking of Genshin, and then I thought it because Scaramouche being my favorite character, I went to this. So this is why I wanted to do something slightly different because I've already, I guess, done some degree of your typical fantasy for the sword theme, and also I feel like everyone is going to go for your D&D, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter style magic-y thing. And I guess I also like fantasies aren't just like the genre. I guess there's also the having a fantasy of like wanting something that's not a Victorian setting. I mean, I've already got the setting essentially. I pretty much got the idea of what to do. I just need to figure out script it out so I can articulate what I want. Because I also want to push myself to actually draw. Because I like drawing Scaramouche, but I hate drawing his hat because his hat is really detailed. So I'm going to try and actually force myself to draw him properly and not skip over his hat. Because yeah, I've drawn him a few times, but avoided the hat at all costs. Especially just because it's very symmetrical, got a lot of details. It would probably be easier, I guess, if you draw digitally, because you could copy the image in and maybe trace over it a little bit just to get that hat right. Or you could simplify it. Older looking, but I just left it with the OG. Oh, nice! Also, this is the character that you've got, and then they just make doing magic. Okay, so they want to race themselves, so maybe they can, like we see, maybe a happy family. Because he's also got like the bird motif. So I definitely want birds somewhere because that is a common theme and he's sort of in his outfits. It's just a motif that they use for him a lot. A lot of the anime characters use birds because in the lore of Genshin, birds are deeply connected to anime being, yeah. Actually, this isn't working. This isn't. Oh dang it! This felt like such a good idea in my head, where we see like his fantasies and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like he's also quite a realistic character. I like apart from wanting to erase himself, which is quite idealistic. He is quite grounded and pessimistic. He probably doesn't have a lot of wild, outlandish fantasies, to be honest. Just because he would probably think, yeah, I need to do something simpler. I do like the Victorian idea, is cool. Like, something maybe like Black Butler, like with vampires and stuff would be cool. Let's just Google fantasy definition. Let's go back to the start. So the facility or activity or imagining impossible or improbable things. And there's also fantasy, the, like, literary, like the genre. So how do they define fantasy as a genre? Oh, also, right, I have a VPN and I'm currently in Japan according to Google, so it does mean that some of my websites that'll come up are in Japanese. But we'll go to Wikipedia because Wikipedia is the place to be. Just articles about the artistic, the magazine, fantasy fiction. A speculative fiction, including magical elements, typically set in a fictional universe, often inspired by mythology and folklore. Oh, okay, I haven't seen fantasy spelt like that. Yeah, so it distinguishes from science fiction because there's also an interesting thing is that a lot of books that get like texts in general, like movies, books, manga that get labeled as science fiction are technically another genre called science fantasy. So science fantasy is like your Star Wars. You know the ones that people like argue, is it science fiction? Is it fantasy? Like the ones that had the aesthetic of science fiction, so like aliens and spaceships, but aren't actually grounded in scientific reality. Those are science fantasy, where they're essentially using the sci-fi aesthetic, but it's at its core, it's a fantasy. But in terms of no one really uses science fantasy much for marketing sakes because, like, I guess I don't have it on this shelf out here, but I have a series of books that is definitely like science fantasy. Like, there's, like essentially superpowers, like which superpowers are magic. I know that when people talk about superpowers, they like to think of them different as a magic system. They're still magic. The Force is magic. X-Men have magic. It's just a marketing thing that we treat as something different. So yeah, fantasy often tends to uses magic or other supernatural elements. A lot of magic practitioners use real world folklore. And also, yeah, like it distinguishes itself from horror, with horror having like a lot of macabre and violence and scariness. History, so modern fantasy. So yeah, like fantasy's kind of changed a lot in the Western canon with because a lot of Western fairy tales until Lord of the Rings came out were like fairy tales, but I guess our modern idea of fantasy, yeah, it comes like from. I mean, there's more to it than that, but yeah. Um, because yeah, I don't want to do like a Dungeons and Dragon hexes. Yeah, hexes would count as magic. In the sense of like if we're looking writing, I would say any sort of supernatural power. Like if someone has an ability beyond like that's what's typical of a person, so like I don't know, they have like flight, invisibility, just any sort of supernaturally thing that realistically does not happen in like that you couldn't do, like or is enhanced in some way, that counts as magic. Hexes are specifically like a type of magic that most people would refer to as magic. Like I guess also you can sometimes they call magic systems power systems because if you don't want to be calling it magic specifically. So you got subgenres. So Bangsian, oh okay, I haven't heard of Bangsian fantasy. Comic fantasy just meaning like comedy. Contemporary is dark fantasy. Extruded fantasy. Oh, okay, so that's a derogative. Fables, fairy tales, fantastique. Okay, so that's like, oh, fantasy of manners. Interesting. Gas lamp fantasy. Oh, okay, so that sounds interesting. Grimdark, hard fantasy. Yeah, I'm familiar with like hard and soft fantasy. Siams, yeah. Weird fiction. Oh, okay, so that's something that we don't use as much, but that's like before kind of fantasy and horror. That's cool. I'm learning stuff here. Magical girl. Oh, the magical girl does sound kind of interesting. Especially because like Monitor did for Transform, he did a magical girl. I also do want to focus on the idea of like someone's fantasies, like rather than just the genre of it. Like I don't know, maybe having someone dreaming or fantasizing about something. This is probably the longest. Actually, no, it did take a while for me to figure out what to do on the for the duck. Okay, so I'm curious about Gaslamp fantasy. Is a genre Victorian or Edwardian? I mean, they're pretty similar, so I can see why they would both. Not to be confused with steampunk, which yeah, because steampunk tends to lend itself into the sci-fi more so than the fantasy. Oh, okay, so it's very similar to Gothic literature. I do like Gothic literature. Although I know like a lot of Victorian things are kind of difficult to draw. What's by function of fantasy in the narrative? This is okay. Now I do want to read this book. Don't do this at home. Don't steal books. Because, you know, that's bad. I'm just poor. And I probably should turn the music back on because I'm not listening to any. I have a bad habit of forgetting when I like pause music. I'm not gonna read that entire book right now, but I do want that because that sounds like an interesting read. I am curious about what they have listed fantasy literature because there would be a lot that wouldn't be. Oh, okay, no, this is not. See, also list of fantasy novels. I'm curious what they list because there's a lot that won't be on here. Oh, okay, it's listed into 3 parts. Alice in Wonderland. This is also just to get me thinking about like outside of the box of what we typically think of when we immediately think of fantasy. Because I usually would think of like D&D, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, maybe Percy Jackson. Like I wouldn't immediately go to like Alice in Wonderland. Actually, I do think Alice in Wonderland could be interesting. Because that also focuses, I guess, on fantasies in the sense of like it's a dream, and also just something nonsensical. I haven't heard of most of these. Dang, that sounds like an interesting book. Cats Have No Lord. Chronicles of Narnia. City of Bones. Isn't that like the city of something, Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, so I think I want to go for the Alice in Wonderland. I've read Alice in Wonderland a few times. And I've also seen the original Disney film a few times, which is kind of... The original film is pretty much Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, the best bits mushed. I know I have seen the like Tim Burton remake, but it's been a while. But I know it pretty much is just a hero's journey and completely misses the point of Lewis Carroll's original story. Yeah, that's my hot take for the day. You know what? We're gonna just make this up. My big grand idea just didn't work. Yeah. So we're gonna make something up. No, I should have it where I'm like fantasizing about making this great manga and then just realizing that I have no ideas. Just have some meta humor in here. Because also my voice kind of hurts. I don't know if it's because I've been streaming a lot or if I'm just getting sick. I don't know why this feels awkward. This does. My beautiful Kmart paper. That doesn't feel... That feels like an awkward size. Also, I think I would... Because... Let's just... I don't know. The legendary rock... I'm not sure what you're referring to. Legendary rock motif. Okay, let's learn about what we're referring to. I was mostly talking about the bird motif because that's a common thing in like Scaramouche when I was thinking of doing that idea. Rock is an Arabic gigantic legendary bird. Stop moving stuff, website. Oh. Oh, okay, so it's in 1,001 Nights. I haven't read the full 1,001 Nights. I've read like the original Aladdin because I did an assessment on it. Oh, it doesn't have a lot about it. Yeah, it's a small. Said to carry off others for food. It's mentioned. I no, I'm not referring to a Star Wars character. Apparently, there's a Star Wars character named after it. Oh, I'll check it. I'll check it out. I'll look because is it? Did you post it on Instagram? Because it should be in the hashtag. I can also check Twitter if that's where you've got it. But I feel like most of them seem to be on. I've got notifications. That's So you wanna look up Manga May 2023. 779 posts? Jeez. That's a lot of posts. Like, that's impressive. I want it not so... Is it only gonna... Because on your phone, you can, Oh, okay, it hasn't been posted yet. Because, yeah, on the computer, it looks like it only sorts by top. Whereas on your phone, you can also go recent. I wonder where mine come up, if they come up at all. So many good ones. Yeah, no, mine are not as good as half of these. Oh, dang, the skill. Oh, no, don't forget the hashtag. Who is this cat? This cat seems to come up a lot. That's just... Yeah, eventually, mine looks kind of... Yeah, some of these people, they're, like, if they're not making anything, like, published, like, at least self-published, please do, people. Mine looks kind of funny amongst all of these, because, like, they're all, like, manga and, like, super fancy, and then there's just a duck and a piece of bread. Also, mine didn't seem to fit nicely in the format. Artist drawing. Like, I mean a photo of an artist drawing, not a drawing by an artist. I want a picture of someone drawing. Drawing at desk. Thank you. Wait. Maybe wait. I was expecting this one to go nice and well, but this is just isn't happening today. And we specifically want to show that like the page is blank. I mean, this isn't gonna look exactly like my actual desk just because I don't want to do that. My desk has a lot going on, but I don't think it's particularly interesting. It just makes me look like a slob. This is a. This isn't working. My brain's legitimately dead. Shut up, music. You're making this worse. We need a moment of silence for my brain not doing its job. Day 6 today. Yeah, it's day 6 for me. It's fantasy. Like this prompt shouldn't be difficult. I don't know. I feel like my brain's just creatively bankrupt right now. I don't know if it's because I'm sick or tired or both. And also, my glasses are actually itchy on my face. Yeah, I think I am getting a cold. Like, my throat really hurt last night. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to stream today because, like, it felt like when I was coughing, my throat felt like it tasted like blood and stuff, and it was just gross. I didn't cough up blood or anything. It just tasted like it. My temperature feels weird. But it just. Yeah, I don't feel good to be honest. But I wanna push through, but my brain's just not cooperating. And I've also missed a few days already. Cause yeah, my health isn't great. I mean, I've got rough ideas, sort of like it's probably a combination of things. Cause I mean, I have poor iron, which I'm planning. I think next week I'm getting an infusion to try and help with that. So that doesn't help with energy and stuff. Cause bad like if you've got low iron, it can cause symptoms like it can cause depression like symptoms. And then like I guess depression can also help like perpetuate that because you like it can affect your eating and stuff. And yeah, I actually feel really like I feel sweaty and I really shouldn't because the temperature is not, and it's also not what is the temperature right now? When I look up temperature, don't give me a definition of what temperature is. Is it gonna give temperature today? Right. I need to tell it where I live. Yeah, do the worst, laziest drawing ever. Okay, let's do this. And we'll just have it like where we had the fantasy. Okay, so no ruler, pure sketch. Yeah. No eraser because that's too much effort. We're gonna have like a piece of paper and like a big pencil. We don't care about. Yeah, I genuinely don't feel well. Sucks. I was excited. Um, And then we're just gonna like, I don't know, what does the sick face? It's only 22 degrees. I should not be feeling this hot at this right now. Especially because I don't feel temperature very well. And then I guess I'll give it a thermometer. Wow, I usually can say that word no issue. This is an autobiography. Actually, I might draw this over here. I mean, usually I would probably have it like right across, but that's fine. I guess I'll draw me in like bed. Just thinking about the cool manga. That's my fantasy. Like, yeah. Yeah, I might stop the stream now and get some rest, and hopefully maybe later today I'll feel a bit better. But yeah, I don't feel well right now. I'm sorry about that. I didn't really realize I felt like this. But thank you for being here. And thank you for being understanding. Yeah, I might go get some rest. Yeah.